indicator notifies the driver with an amber-colored telltale icon on the instrument cluster that one or more tires require attention. This type of driver notification meets the federal regulations, but does not provide the driver with any information as to which tire is low. Vehicles with the telltale driver notification icons do not require vehicle retraining after a tire change or rotation, unless the sensor is damaged or being replaced during service. The other indicator is much more informative, using a vehicle icon with 4 wheel locations. When a low tire condition is detected, the driver is notified with an illuminated LED on the icon that shows the position of the low tire on the vehicle. On some vehicles with 4 position indicators, specifically with those that do not have special devices in the wheel wells called LF initiators, each time the location of the wheel changes, the TPM control module needs to be retrained. Retraining the TPM control system is easily done with the TIPS. It triggers the tire sensor and sends the sensor ID to the TPM control module. Let's take a look at a service procedure working with TPM in your shop. We'll use the example of a vehicle with a direct TPM system, valve stem sensors that respond to continuous wave signals, and a 4-position indicator. First, if you suspect the vehicle has the TPM system, take a few minutes to walk around the customer's vehicle and trigger the sensors to make sure they're working. This will not alter any programmed values because we haven't put the vehicle in learn mode, which is required to make any changes to the vehicle's TPM system. This service procedure will minimize the potential liability for replacing a defective sensor that can cost hundreds of dollars. The current NHTSA rule allows vehicle manufacturers up to a 20-minute calibration period, which means that a defective sensor may not be indicated for up to 20 minutes. This may make it nearly impossible for service facilities to determine if a sensor or sensors are defective at the time the customer brings the vehicle in for service. But with the TIPS, it will take less than a couple of minutes to make the same determination. Let's get started. Begin by positioning the TIPS just above the valve stem on the tire adjacent to the wheel. Never place the tool directly on the valve stem because the RF signal will not penetrate the aluminum or steel wheel. While most automobile manufacturers use the valve stem type of sensor transmitter demonstrated here, some mount them directly to the wheel, typically 180 degrees from the valve stem. This would require that you place the tool in the general area where you expect to find the sensor. Again, it is very important to position the tool over the tire, not the rim. Press, then release the activate button while holding the tool steady. A green LED located just above the activation switch will illuminate, indicating that the TIPS is hunting for the appropriate electronic triggering protocol. A flashing red activation LED would signal the need to replace the 6 AA batteries in the TIPS. When the proper triggering protocol is found and the tool triggers the sensor communication and functionality is confirmed with a flashing amber LED and audible beep tone. The position of the first LED flashing sequence indicates the response frequency that the sensor is using to communicate with the TPM system. In this case, it is 315 megahertz. The flashing LEDs and audible tone will stop and will be quickly followed by 1 or more illuminated amber LEDs. This pattern of LEDs can be compared to a sensor listing found within the support area of our website or your user guide that will identify the brand or type of sensor triggered. In this case, the 4 illuminated LEDs indicate a continuous wave sensor. This feature can be useful information when you are diagnosing potential TPM system problems. Continue the procedure around the vehicle until all TPM sensors have been verified as working. Please note that using the hunting feature may take up to 2 minutes to trigger the first sensor. Having activated the first sensor, the next sensor should trigger in seconds, as the TIPS will begin its search for the correct protocol using the last sensor protocol found. Once you become familiar with the TIPS, to save time, you may wish to manually select the correct initiation protocol for a specific vehicle, with the understanding that each LED pattern relates to a specific sensor type. To select a specific sensor, keep pressing the selection switch and cycle through the LED patterns until the desired initiation protocol is selected. Once you have identified the desired protocol, simply press the activation switch, and the tips will begin with that protocol, thereby saving time associated with hunting. If, during your TPM inspection, none of the sensors will respond to the electronic triggering effort, reverse the tool and attempt to trigger the sensor using the magnetic activation portion of the tool. Hold the tool as shown first and press the activation switch to turn on the receivers so that you can detect any sensor transmission.